Hello and welcome back. My name is Jack B. And as always, thank you for viewing my video. The information presented in this episode is intended to provide some thought into human difficulty. It is in this area we should be applying our efforts to improve our lives in America. Today, there seems to be a lot of spontaneous as well as planned violence. The first thing people cry about is needing more gun laws. Well, we have plenty of gun laws. What we need to do is enforce the gun laws, maybe even improve the gun laws. But the real issue is why the individual decided to perpetrate that act and why he was able to accomplish that act. Parents and family are the first line of education and guidance for their children. They're essentially the first line of defense against antisocial, anti-society behavior. It might be difficult, but parents should still be 100% engaged with their children. The behavior of modern day humans seems to be the same as it was in the hunter-gatherer era. The only difference is that we're using modern trappings and advanced technology to carry out our old activities. The internet has become the modern day arena for gladiators. These gladiators use their ideas and voices to lure people to their side. They create the us versus them mentality. Our elected leaders are no better. They add credibility to the mentality by their actions and words. There are literally millions of people expressing their thoughts, ideas, and opinions online. Most online sites are benign, but there are more than you would expect that are negative and blame people or groups. And some even urge violence. They want to vilify those who are not in their group. The fact is, it is our nature to group together and take sides. They're taking advantages of this trait. We are not far from that hunter-gatherer days of human existence. We can still see the dust in our rearview mirrors from that era. We may be evolving, but evidently, we as humans are not there yet. Society and culture are supposed to shape our civilization. Well, we have a society, culture, and civilization, but we are still humans walking around within these frameworks and structures. Human instincts are genetically hardwired behavioral patterns developed for survival. They often occur automatically, rapidly, and subconsciously. Our society and culture ought to be the constraints guiding us to make the leap forward to making good decisions. But it seems it is driving us in a different direction. The transition from humans operating purely with instinct to one that is a civilized person making cognitive decisions is a difficult journey. We shouldn't be surprised at the troubles we're having. After all, humans have been operating and surviving by instinct for tens of thousands of years. Currently, the oldest known fossils, thought to be Homo sapiens, are 300,000 years old. They were discovered in Morocco. The theory is that complex human behaviors, such as in technology and art, were developed 50,000 to 65,000 years ago. It is also thought that the main migration out of Africa, which established the non-African populations, occurred approximately 60,000 to 70,000 years ago. When modern humans left Africa, they traveled to the left, they traveled to the right. Current theories state that modern humans interbred with others during this time. The experts identified Denisovans and Neanderthals as participants in early breeding. They also say that there are other identified interbreedings with 5 different groups, which they call ghost DNA. Evidently, those heading towards Asia encountered the Denisovans and first interbred with them 50,000 to 60,000 years ago, and then again 40,000 to 54,000 years ago. Those heading towards Europe encountered the Neanderthal and interbred with them 40,000 to 47,000 years ago. It is believed that Cro-Magnon man, or modern humans, inhabited Europe 10,000 to 54,000 years ago. Ultimately, modern humans migrated to North America from Asia through Siberia over the Bering Strait 15,000 to 30,000 years ago, carrying all this DNA. Non-Africans have 1 to 3% of Neanderthal DNA. It was first thought that Africans have no Neanderthal DNA, but newer research using advanced computational methods have detected Neanderthal ancestry in African populations as well. The theory is this is due to modern humans returning to Africa rather than African direct interbreeding with the Neanderthal. Denisovan DNA in non-Africans varies from 2% to 6% depending on the geographic locations. Africans generally have no significant Denisovan DNA. The foregoing information is provided to demonstrate human migration and the addition of DNA to our own DNA. DNA directly affects humans physically and mentally. Neanderthal DNA affects modern humans in several ways. One, it's in the immune system. Some Neanderthal genes significantly influence the immune system, which can be beneficial in certain environments. Second, there are physical traits. Neanderthal DNA has been linked to various other traits, such as skin and hair color, metabolic processes, and even susceptibility to certain diseases. Number three, there are behavioral traits. Some studies have found correlations between Neanderthal variants and certain behavioral characteristics, such as 1. Chronotype, being a morning or night person; 2. Mood disorders; 3. Loneliness, isolation; 4. Unenthusiasm and disinterest; and 5. Higher likelihood of addictive behavior. Denisovan DNA also affects modern humans. There are potential positive and negative effects. The positive effects are altitude adaptation. A denisovan inherited gene helps regulate the body's response to low oxygen, conferring an advantage to Tibetan populations living at high altitudes. Cold adaptation and metabolism. Their genes have contributed to adaptations for cold weather, including traits for regulating body fat and maintaining warmth, which are present in Inuit populations. In the immune system support, their DNA may have provided ancient and modern humans with genes that help in fighting infections, a crucial adaptation for populations in South and East Asia, the Americas, and Papua New Guinea. In respiratory and digestive health, a specific gene, MUC19, is found in modern humans, especially in Latin Americans with indigenous American ancestry, and may contribute to the production of mucosal barriers in the respiratory and digestive tracts, and the possible negative effects of the neuropsychiatric issues. The SLC30A9 gene regulates zinc transport and cellular metabolism and has been linked to a potential increase in neuropsychiatric disorders such as depression and schizophrenia in modern humans. I've made it a point to keep AI out of any research I am doing. This includes spelling, grammar, and rewrite suggestions. It's hard enough to filter out false, man-made information without having to deal with AI nonsense, which is a whole other story. The effects of denisovan and Neanderthal DNA on modern humans has been studied and researched at many institutions. Just to mention a few, the National Institutes of Health, Brown University, the Leakey Foundation, the University of Colorado, Princeton University, Emory University, Harvard University, UCLA, UCSF. DNA that was responsible for the survival of modern humans is still within us today. I suggest sometimes this is why we react rather than stopping for a moment, challenging ourselves, and choosing an appropriate action. In other words, we don't usually make cognitive decisions. I've noticed two traits of humans. One, we jump to conclusions not based on facts or data, but based on what we think. Two, once we have these beliefs, we stick to them even in the face of data proving the belief is wrong. There are those around us that want us to continue to react into hunter-gatherer mode. The instincts of the nomadic hunter-gatherer lifestyle mark most of human existence. Around 10,000 BCE, the hunter-gatherer lifestyle started to ebb, and the agricultural lifestyle started to rise. With respect to the length of time modern humans walked the earth, becoming settled and civilized is relatively new to humans. We're still trying to get used to it. What happens to be lost in the disruptions is the fact that we are all the same. From the atoms that make up our bodies to the environmental exposures of behavior and ideas, our DNA allows us to become who we are based upon our environmental exposures to behavior and ideas. We have common ancestors. There may be a few differences in how we look, but that does not change the fact they were all the same. Since modern humans have migrated out of Africa, they have grouped together with others of like minds and physical characteristics, first to survive and then to thrive. It's in our nature. Modern humans have also realized their safety in numbers. It's natural for us to group together with people like us, but that does not mean those whose appearance is different than ours are our enemies. The people that are trying to cause fractures among Americans all have something to gain personally. I suspect their gains can be boiled down to a few categories: economic gain, ego satisfaction, or personality defects and revenge. America's society and culture are unique. I'm not sure if there's another country like ours. We are a conglomerate of many, many people from around the world. The concept of America's way of life is a threat to many of the world's powers, such as CCP, Russia, Iran, and North Korea. These foreign powers make use of force, technology, and psychology to wage a hidden or hybrid war against America. This is where we need to focus our energies and push back against them, not against each other. America is no different than other countries in that we got to where we are by the same means and methods as other countries for the times, by shenanigans, chicanery, and skullduggery. Acknowledging this does not justify it. It just might put things in perspective. We humans love to use snapshots for demonstrating issues to prove our points, just as they do in the social media arena and the news arena. This narrow vision leads us down the rabbit hole of blame and punishment, and ultimately nothing changes. Rather than snapshots of time, we should be using complete videos for context and content for making cognitive decisions. I believe if we want to be sustainable and survive in the future, then we must ask ourselves a basic question. Do we want to punish and destroy, or do we want to cure and improve? Obviously, there are actions and events that require immediate punishment. If America is to survive and thrive, then we need to work together to correct our problems. I believe we need to identify what needs to be corrected today, develop the plans, and follow through. We need to stop demonizing one another. In fact, we should become one big group called Americans. We can still maintain our ancestral heritage, our independent religious freedoms and beliefs, but only as unified Americans. But instead, we're operating in a modern version of a hunter gatherer society. Those who want to manipulate us want to keep us in various groups and acting like hunter gatherers so they can hide in the confusion and benefit from the blinders we are wearing. Well, these are my thoughts for today. And again, whether you agree or not, please confirm the information presented. Thank you. And until next time, take care and be safe. Bye.
Ooh.